yes, this is your favorite show, Sports Unfolded, with your favorite hosts, Eric and Ron.
Boom, welcome to Sports Unfolded, episode 27 of season 2. Trading places, as we always do, it's going to have some meaning to it. I am your host, Eric. My main man right over there, Ron, how are you?
I am doing quite well.
Quite well, my friend. We've got a ton to unfold today. I hope you're ready.
I'm ready.
And you
I've
better
been
bring
dying
your
for the
A-game.
show.
You better bring your A game today because we've got a lot. We're going to start right off with our leadoff story, and that's one Baker Mayfield, who's been traded to the Carolina Panthers. So I guess my first question would be is who made out best in this deal? So we did a Facebook poll on Sports Unfolded Sports Polls. If you haven't joined that group, make sure you do that. But Carolina Panthers, 75%, Cleveland, 0%, and neither team did well at 24%. How would you rate the trade?
Well, I mean, first of all, I guess the Panthers are the winners, really, because they actually have a quarterback going into the season. You know, like you can't tell me that they were happy having Darnold and Cam Newton as your starting quarterback candidates. Like you can't tell me that's happy, you know?
Yeah, no, and I could see it from that standpoint. I mean, Baker Mayfield, that was a giant question. First of all, the health last year. Couldn't stay healthy. He played hurt. I mean, give him credit for that and commend him for trying to play through it. But you could also say that, it probably didn't help him in the standpoint of the numbers. I mean, he as a starting quarterback, 29-30, 92 touchdowns, 56 interceptions. I mean, in 60 games. I mean, it's nothing to, blow your mind with. But I would say this, too. He also had a lot of talent around him in Cleveland. You don't have the same talent in Carolina, at least, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
No, but I think well, you have McCaffrey though.
If he's healthy, what's that for 6 games?
Yeah, so at least half the season he's going to have some protection.
Best meme I saw this week was Christian McCaffrey as he read the Baker Mayfield news blow out his ACL while he was reading it, because that's basically Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, I mean, and let me tell you, what's his name, Anderson, the
Robbie
receiver?
Anderson didn't want him.
Made some comments, that he's all for Darnold. Look, I'm sorry, Mayfield is a step up from what they had. It's a step up.
Which I'm surprised because you are such a big Cam Newton fan that I
oh my God, come on.
You don't want to bring Cam back?
No.
Try that again for Carolina?
No.
What about Cleveland, though? Do you think this was the right move for them? I mean, moving on, knowing that he didn't want to be there?
Well, yeah, you have to. So, in essence, really, Baker Mayfield is the real winner.
Yeah.
Because he got what he wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They also drafted a quarterback in the 3rd round, Carolina, Matt Carroll.
Yep.
And I think this is really good for him as well. Now you get a veteran guy who's played in the league and played at a high level, got to the playoffs to learn under versus, the Sam Darnold experiment. I don't know how well Sam Darnold would have been able to teach this kid. Baker could finally throw the ball to the Browns.
Oh, that's funny.
That is great, Manny, because look, Carolina needed to make some kind of move. My question would be, Matt Rule, this is a year right now where if he doesn't win, and I don't even think, look, it's not 500. This team needs to be competing for a playoff. He's getting fired.
Yeah, well, that's look, it's Carolina.
Does Baker Mayfield make them a playoff team?
Oof. I don't know.
Right? And that's where I'm saying, for me, it's a great move on one aspect because, look, Cleveland, he wasn't going to play there. But then you bring him to Carolina. It's also important for Baker to win because
See,
he's a
problem
free agent.
the problem is that division right now, because you have Tampa Bay
You got Tom, yeah.
and you have New Orleans. Like, let's face it, like New Orleans had a good team last year. They just needed,
Jameis Winston to be healthy, yeah, which is kind of crazy to think about.
So that's not going to be, a lock to make it to the playoffs because, coming in third in that division isn't going to get it done.
No.
It's not going to get it done. And, so you got a battle on your hands because, I mean, you're going to beat Atlanta. I mean,
you should. You would hope.
You should. But
many teams that think they're a playoff team.
It's going to be very difficult. Now, I mean, when you look around that conference, you're still going to have Dallas, Philadelphia. Okay, you're going to have Green Bay. You possibly could have, Minnesota if they get their heads out of their butts. That team underachieved last year.
The Rams, San Francisco,
Arizona. They're all going to be. So you're not a shoe-in for the playoffs.
Yeah.
So you have some teams that you have to jump over. Can they jump over any of those teams? I'm not sure they can.
So what would you consider a successful season for the Carolina Panthers with Baker Mayfield as the starting quarterback?
If they can get 9 wins.
I think at least a winning record.
Yeah, if they can get 9 wins, it's a successful season with Baker.
Does Matt Rule keep his job with 9 wins?
I believe he does.
He does. You would. So we'll have to see how
because
this all plays out.
They still don't have enough talent, on the offense in the skilled positions.
Yeah.
Yes, they have a running back. They have a receiver, and not even really sure that he's that good. Because he couldn't make a difference last year with the guy that he says that he's, got a good rapport with. So, I mean, it couldn't be that good.
So, Manny made a great point. Week 1, they play the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
So, he may be thrown to the Browns anyway. So, we'll have to see after week 1 if this was a mistake or not. Because
I'm not sure that they're going to lose that game.
Save it for the NFL preview show. How's that?
Who's going to be their quarterback?
Who is going to be their quarterback? Jacoby Brissett, most likely.
Yeah, most likely.
And they don't have a backup now in Cleveland.
No.
So that's going to be another interesting
Good luck
situation.
with that one.
So we're going to.
It's okay. Cam Newton will be available.
He is. He's still available, my friend.
Yeah.
I know how excited you are. You want Cam back. You really do.
I want him to go to Cleveland.
So we're going to continue with our NFL talk and discuss Robert Kraft, who is a nominee for the NFL Hall of Fame. And I guess I would ask you, do you consider him a Hall of Fame owner?
Yeah, I do, actually. I was thinking about this. It's like, why? How do they, judge the time on Hall of Fame owners when they still own the team? I don't get that. Players have to wait like 5 years, but they can put an owner in anytime they want to.
Yeah, it's a little weird. 28 years he's owned the New England Patriots since 1994.
And look at all those championships. So, I definitely think he belongs in there because he changed football in New England, because we probably wouldn't have a team if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, they were rumored to be moved. He kept them in New England. If you look at the last strike, the NFL strike, he was the biggest reason the strike didn't happen. And we had NFL football, and it's prospered since. So some mind-blowing numbers, too. When you look at Robert Kraft, 308 and 141 as the owner of the Patriots.
Yeah.
Right? 33 and 16 in the playoffs. 22 out of the 28 years he's owned the team, they made the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just dominance. 10 Super Bowl appearances, 6 Super Bowl wins.
How many wins in history does Cleveland have? Now, I know it's not 300. I'm just saying that. It's like you compare franchises. I mean, look, it's night and day. Like he's right up there with the best franchises in sports history.
Yeah, agreed. And look at the list of coaches too. If you think about what he came in with, Bill Parcells, right,
Yeah.
Hall of Fame coach, Pete Carroll, who's won a Super Bowl, granted not with us, but again, a very good coach, and obviously Bill Belichick. So he's had the luxury of picking the right coach to get his teams where they need to get to, and yeah, I can't see how this should even be debatable.
No,
Kenny,
yeah.
yeah, I know what kind of question is that, but he's a finalist. He's not actually in yet, so that it's. I guess some people could question it.
Yeah. Well, those
You
would
also got to
be
look at
the
how
Patriot
much.
haters.
Yeah, but how much of the cheating scandals would affect his nomination, his activities in
And who
Florida
votes?
a few years ago?
Who votes?
That could hurt you though. That could be the reason people don't vote him in.
Yeah, because
Because
if
of
like
that.
Marshall Falk gets a vote, he's not voting for him.
Yeah, Marshall Falk don't. He don't like.
If LaDainian Tomlinson is voting, he's not voting for him.
No, they don't like the Patriots at all. That's pretty obvious.
If the Raiders franchise, anybody in history of the Raiders, they're not voting for him.
That's true. That is very true.
Haters.
So we're going to do our triple play, and Ron, it's going to continue on an NFL theme because we're going to actually decide who we're going to start, bench, and cut of the recent quarterbacks in Carolina and the current quarterbacks in Carolina. And that'd be one Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, and Cam Newton. And we're going to decide who we start, bench, and cut. I am first this week, so I will go first.
Whoa.
I am going to start Baker Mayfield. Even with a 29-30 record, 61.6% completion percentage, 14,125 yards, 92 touchdowns, 56 interceptions in 60 games. He has the highest completion percentage out of the three of them. So that meant something to me. I'm benching Cam Newton. And I'm benching Cam Newton, 75, 68, and 1. He's the only one with the winning record of this group. 59.9% completion percentage, 32,382 yards passing. Rushed for over I think it's 5,600 yards in his career, 75 touchdowns there. 194 and 123 from touchdown interceptions in 148 games. He's still a question mark. Obviously, at this point in his career, I would say he's not as valuable as he was maybe in 2015 when he was the MVP. But I still feel he's better than Sam Darnold. I would cut Sam Darnold, who's 17 and 32 as a starter, 59.8% completion percentage. He's thrown for a little over 10,000 yards, 54 touchdowns, 52 interceptions in 50 games. I don't like those numbers. They scare me. I would not. I don't know if I'm getting a touchdown or an interception every time he throws the ball. It's either or. It's too inconsistent. Even with new coaching, it didn't seem to help. Change of scenery didn't seem to help. So I'd have to bench Cam Newton, even if I was a little reluctant on it. And that's kind of how I went with my triple play.
Very nice. Very nice. So, you actually got it right for a change.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
For
a change.
Baker Mayfield would definitely start because I probably would cut both the other guys.
Right. If this was start, cut. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I would probably have to trade for maybe Deshaun Watson to get in there. and figure it out from there. But no, seriously though, yeah, I start Mayfield. He's clearly the better quarterback of the three. Cam Newton, as little as I like Cam Newton as a quarterback, I'd have to give him the nod over Darnold. So I'd bench Newton only because, like you said, it's when Darnold throws the ball, you could have that. Oh my God, he's open! He's open! He's open! Oh,
interception,
and it goes the other way. So that 54 and 52 is really scary,
right?
Because you really don't know what he's going to throw, and a lot of that might not all be his fault.
No,
But
again, we said some
but
coaching issues, but
yeah, but it is what it is at this point. I mean, I'm sorry that I think it's too late for him to get better. To be honest with you, and I know that the team was hoping for it to be that way, but it didn't work out that way, and therefore he is what he is now, and
a backup quarterback.
a backup quarterback. So maybe.
Maybe. Yeah,
There's always
Carolina's making
Canada, USFL.
Go Stallions. Yes.
Yeah. So I don't even know if the Stallions would want him.
Yeah.
So.
So, Ron, we're going to go through and let the people out there know about sponsoring the show. So if you'd like to sponsor the show, Ron's going to give you a quick introduction on how that promo would run. So if you're interested after you've seen this promo, ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com. Reach out to us. We'll give you all the details on how it would work. But now you're going to get to see it. So Ron, take it away.
Yes, if you want to sponsor the show, it would be a lot like this. So you'd send us your banner or however ad is going to be, and it would be a lot like this. So sponsor Sports Unfolded, special promo price of $25 for 4 episodes. We read off your ad and show it on the show. We also post it on Facebook, Twitter, and the website that reaches over 10,000 fans in total. It's an obvious, perfect scenario for any starting business because you get to see what you want to do, and it works out pretty well for the price. So even startup businesses can afford it, and that's how we do. So when you give us your ad, we read it off. So that way, not only do people see it, but they will hear it on the podcast, and that is crucial because it will get eyes and ears on it, and that's how it is done. So
Awesome. Great job. Thank you.
and like I said, introductory price $25 for 4 episodes. That you're not going to beat that anywhere.
And
Anyway.
again, you get a month's worth, so you could see how it does, and if your business improves, guess what? We continue to grow with you.
Yeah. Like, I mean, seriously, like if you sell stuff on a website and you sell like 1 or 2 things, depending on price, of course, it was worth it.
Yeah.
Because then you gain a customer or 2, and it was worth it.
It paid for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, great. Outstanding. So let's move on, my friend, to the NBA, and we're going to bring up one Kevin Durant. So do you feel the Brooklyn Nets asking price is way too high for the superstar?
I mean,
I don't know if you heard the report. Yahoo reported that the offer they asked Minnesota Timberwolves was Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, and 4 first-round picks. I've heard the Celtics, it was Tatum, Williams, and Smart. Phoenix, Booker, Aiken, and picks.
That's just ridiculous. There's no team that's going to do that. There's no team that'll do that. Like, first of all, Towns and Edwards, like they just got Gobert over there. They're not trading them. That's a step back. I'm sorry. Look, you had KD and Kyrie, and they couldn't get it done in round 1. Why are you going to trade your bread and butter to get KD when the Celtics just put the book on how to stop KD?
Yeah.
And frankly, I don't know if he can get it done, with one other star. I don't think he can get it done. I really don't.
Yeah, I look at it this way. I feel like Brooklyn is just trying to force the hand to say, Kate, you're stuck here.
Yeah.
They're not going to get anything that they feel is of value.
No.
And they're not going to settle for here's a second-round pick.
Gobert just got 4 first-round picks.
Exactly.
Like, how are you going to match what you could possibly get? That's not going to happen. There's no the Celtics, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Nobody's going to do that. They're not going to do it.
Even if Phoenix was an opportunity where you could say Ayton and Chris Paul, why would you want an aging Chris Paul who's 38?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense because now, again, what do you have, a year or two with Chris Paul? So they want somebody that they're going to be able to say, look, for the next 10 years, this guy's going to be here. Yeah. There's a lot of rumblings out there about Jaylen Brown not wanting to be in Boston. If that was the case, would you look at moving Jaylen Brown if you could package a deal to get Kevin Durant?
Depends on who it is. I'm not giving up Williams.
Mark?
I think Williams is too valuable right now. Like, that's a big man that, I'm sorry, he's like, I think he's one of the top 3 big men in the NBA right now. Of course, I put Gobert in that category. So, and that gives you one guy that you can throw in there if you can tell me who's better.
Chet Holmgren. I had to.
You mean Sean Bradley II?
Sean Bradley II. You should go to the Knicks anyway. Again, what kind of package could the Knicks even offer, though, Kenny? It's, to me, what are they going to give up? Derrick Rose? Yeah. Nobody wants Derrick Rose.
No.
John Randall? Is it John? No, that's not John Randall. John Randall was the Minnesota Vikings football player.
John Randall.
Oh, man.
No, but look, they're better off saying, okay, Kyrie, you're gone, and we're going to bring in somebody else to fill those roles and team up with KD. Now, why can't the team just go to KD and say, hey, look, I know you want to leave, but we'd like to keep you and try to get somebody else in here, to fill the need that you would like. And, you got to make it reasonable. You can't just say, oh, I want this, this, and this. You can trade for one guy, maybe two.
So here's where the problem probably lies. And we talked about it last week. He hitched his wagon to Kyrie. When the Kyrie situation didn't go down the way they thought it was going to go, right? With the signing and trying to, I think he got more upset about the way management handled it. So even if it's not playing with Kyrie, I'm not sure he's a fan of how the Brooklyn Nets handled the situation.
It was a no-win situation for them. And and again, this goes back to how I despise what the NBA is becoming. I despise it. You have these players that are dictating everything. And it is just a shuffleboard in action with all these players just saying, I want to leave. I want to go here. I want to go there. No, bull. You signed your damn contract. Live up to it, buddy. This isn't the NFL where, these contracts aren't guaranteed. This is fully guaranteed stuff.
They're getting their money one way or the other.
They're getting it. And who are you? Who are you to say where you're going when you have, several years left on your contract? It's enough already. I'm already tired of it.
I'm going to bring up a conversation that was had on another podcast. Draymond Green had discussed this situation. And if you look at what he said about, there's guys that go from Apple to Tesla to,
right.
There's a big difference in that where there's not contracts.
Yeah.
They're not set there. Normally you get hired by a job. Doesn't necessarily mean you're there for 5 years. It's not like you get hired and they go, okay, well, you're here for 5 years and then we revisit it.
Yeah.
So for him to use that as as a reason to try to explain this makes no sense to me. So to me, Draymond Green just likes to hear himself talk.
Yeah.
Because that's not a valid point. Yes, these guys leave. Yes, they leave for better jobs with probably more money and more opportunities. Kevin Durant has a 4-year contract now that is fully guaranteed and signed, and now he doesn't want to play for that team. That's not, I'm going to get hired by Apple and then decide tomorrow, you know what? I'm going to go look at Tesla. I'll see if they want to offer me a position. That's not how it works.
Yeah, and another thing that's a problem is the whole Kyrie thing. Brooklyn is really in a pickle here. They're in a jam, and there's no getting around it. So Kyrie wants to go to the Lakers, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So in order for that to happen, then Wiggins has to come back, right? I would think Wiggins is going to be part of that deal, but there's a problem because of this rookie deal thing that he has. The only way Wiggins can come over is for Golden State rather. Sorry, is if Ben Simmons goes along with Kyrie.
Yeah.
So Golden State Warriors are out of it. There's no way it could happen because they can't send the players over because of the way those contracts are structured, and Wiggins can't be on, the Brooklyn Nets because Ben Simmons is there and they have the same type of contract, and you can't have two of them on the same team. So you're not trading with Golden State. So that's out. Any of those teams that have a contract with a rookie on the max deal, you can't send them over. So I don't think you can get Towns, or Edwards if they're on a max deal, which I believe at least Towns is on.
Towns is now, yeah.
So Towns cannot go over unless you send Ben Simmons back the other way. So that's not happening either. So you're kind of screwed if you're Brooklyn. You're not going to get what you need for Kyrie, and to be honest, I'm at the point now. If I'm Brooklyn, I'm saying, you know what? I'm not trading either of you. I'm not trading you. If I'm not going to get the value, fine, so be it. You'll be a free agent, but that's the way I look at it. Then you go into the season with 3 question marks as stars, and if they don't play, then you don't have to pay them. As simple as that.
Yeah, no, look, it's going to be an interesting couple months here and see how this all pans out.
See, that's the way I look at it, because then you come in last place if they don't play. You don't have to pay them.
You get a number 1 pick.
You get the number 1 pick.
Well, most likely, yeah.
And
then you rebuild. No,
yeah.
I agree. So speaking of rebuild, one of the questions I wanted to ask is, so with the summer league starting, do you consider it a legitimate insight onto a player's skill, what they're going to be in the NBA? How do you feel about the summer league?
I like the summer league, mostly because I'd rather watch that than watch a baseball game. But, it's not. You can tell the skill is there with the summer league, but that's not the same competition you're going to be
exactly
facing.
And that's where I think sometimes they hype these kids up. They come in, they're like, look what they're doing, look at the numbers. They're playing college kids, or a second year guy in the NBA who is trying to break into the top of the league, the echelon of the league.
Right.
So you're not playing a LeBron James, a Paul George, a Kawhi Leonard. You're not playing the top guys in the league, a Jason Tatum, a Kevin Durant. So until you see him face those kind of guys, right? Would you not? Yeah. Kenny loves it, and I could see. Look, it's fun to see the young kids get some time in play.
It's a projection, So in 5 years, these guys should be playing like that, because they're going to be playing against these players when they're progressed, hopefully.
Chet Holmgren tearing it up, though.
Yeah, well,
See, there you go. You see, you're down. You're already down on him, and the kid he's dominating. He's dominating.
Yeah, against college students. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And some of them are high school.
Smith Jr. yesterday, and Blanchero went at it. Blanchero went in that one. So it's fun to see at least the kids get some time on the court.
Look, it's a projection. Like when these guys mature and get to that point, this is how they should be playing, in the league later on in their careers. But when they're going to go up against Gobert, Marcus Smart, Williams defensively, they're not going to be doing that this year. So it's gonna take time to grow and and project what they're going to become. But like a lot of these guys are going to be stars in the league, and that's good. Maybe
Yeah.
not, the best players, but they should be, at least an all-star kind of player.
I know you're not a big fan of the All-Star games, but I do like, and I'm not even sure they did it. The NBA did it, but when they were playing the rookies versus the second year guys, I like that. I like to see these young kids and see how they've progressed from year one to year two, and now they're playing with each other. So the NBA does a good job of that. They
Yes, I
definitely
like
promote
that.
the young kids and how they play. Because if you think about it, and we're going to talk about the NHL draft later on in the show, even the Major League Baseball draft, these kids get drafted sometimes. You may not see them for years.
Right. It's
Before-
different. It's different with football and basketball.
Yeah, you get to see these kids right away.
Yes. So, and that's the big difference because, like, look, the skill level, that it takes to be an NHL player is a greater leap than it is, for the NBA or NFL, unfortunately. But
No
with that
bias.
being said, with that being said, it's because of the amount of players, especially in basketball. You're only getting like 13 on a team, 15, So there's not as many players. There's not as many players drafted. There's not really a big, minor league system for players. So when you fail, in year 1 and 2, the chances are you're never going to play. As opposed to baseball and NHL, there's so many farm systems and stuff like that. Lots of talent. It takes them longer to get there. But when you get to a certain level and you peak, you can still play at that level and get paid, enough to, possibly make a living. And that's the difference, there's really no farm system for the NFL. I mean,
No, none at all.
so, you have a practice squad and that's it. And you just got to
And
hope
I
you
think
stick.
that's only like 9 players.
Yeah. So,
So if you think about,
so it's do or die for your career. In like hockey and baseball, you can bring on, a
Yeah, it
career. And it's just going to
Yeah.
take a longer time to
Yeah.
mature, especially if you're a defenseman or a goaltender,
Yeah.
or a pitcher. It's a lot harder.
no, absolutely. So we agree. It's good to see, but I don't know how effective it is, honestly, when it comes to knowing where they're going to be or project for their
Yeah.
career. So,
Yeah.
All right, let's talk some Major League Baseball. Huh?
Baseball.
Baseball has been very, very good to me, my friend. So we did a Facebook poll, and the Facebook poll was, which New York team do you feel will go further this season, the Yankees or the Mets? Facebook poll right now, currently 53% said the Yankees, 31% the Mets, 15% said they will be the same. Actually got one comment, they'll both be in the World Series, is what the one of the fans said. Which team do you think will go further this season?
The Yankees.
Based on?
Based on history. Look, last night they got their 60th win in their 83rd game. It's happened 3 other times in history for the Yankees. All 3 of those times, they went to the World Series and swept the World Series.
So here's where I question you. In the playoffs, what's the most important thing?
Pitching.
Pitching. The New York Yankees right now, look, they're second in the
I hear you.
MLB in the ERA. But I also feel like they're overachieving. They're give me the ace. And their ace is Cole, who struggles against the top echelon teams. And we
Yes.
saw it yesterday
Yes.
with the Red Sox. Whereas now you're getting Scherzer back for the Mets.
Yep.
And now you got DeGrom, who will be back at some point later in the season.
Yep.
I like the starting rotation better with the Mets. I feel more confident. I also don't like the fact that the New York Yankees are more of it's either a home run or it's a strikeout.
Yeah.
And in the playoffs, that's where it starts to hurt you, because when the pitching's better and you're facing better pitches, there's less likely chances you're going to hit home runs. You need to be able to hit.
I'm not
I
saying the
feel like the
Yankees are
Mets
going
should,
to the World Series.
huh?
I'm not saying the Yankees are going to
No,
the
but
World
I
Series.
think the Mets could go further. I think the Mets will actually have a better opportunity to be in the World Series than the New York Yankees.
I'm not sure. Not sure. Because in the National League, you have Atlanta.
Yeah.
You have LA. You have Milwaukee. You have possibly St. Louis, Philadelphia. All those teams can all pitch,
Yeah.
and they can put up some numbers.
So the teams in the American League that the Yankees have struggled against, the Houston Astros, who will definitely be in it.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Even yesterday, the Boston Red Sox, the Tampa Bay Rays, right now are all in it.
Yeah.
So you can't sit there and say it's an easier ride for the Yankees when they've clearly struggled against those teams.
I'm not saying it's an easier ride, but there are holes in the American League, particularly that Central Division. Like really, like if they have to face
Minnesota,
Cleveland or Minnesota
the
in
White
the
Sox,
first, the first game. I mean, come on, like really, you don't think that they're gonna beat them? Look, I don't like the way the Red Sox are particularly playing. I think they are not getting timely hits. I've actually watched several games this week, and it's been excruciating, to watch when they get runners on second and third, nobody out, and they can't even get a run home because they can't hit a fly ball, or they can't hit it to the right side of the infield. Because Story sucks. I'm sorry. Like, all he does is strike out in clutch moments.
There goes another guy off the Christmas card list.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I don't want a card from him. Okay? And by the time trade deadline comes around, are we even going to have Bogarts? I'm thinking no. Because I don't think they're going to want to sign him. And it is a travesty if they don't. And that means the same thing's going to happen to him as Nomar Garciaparra.
But maybe the move to short for Story maybe helps him improve again, because maybe that's what it is. He's out of place. He's out of position.
No. Like, he's batting .225. That's ridiculous. Over 100 strikeouts. And come on, like really, make contact. I want a contact hitter. Like, it's almost embarrassing that Jackie Bradley is a better hitter. Almost.
And we know JBJ is not a very good hitter at all.
No.
Face-off time. And our face-off is, again, Major League Baseball theme here. Should Major League Baseball allow Shohei Ohtani to be eligible for both the Cy Young and the MVP? Or should they only allow him to be eligible for one? I am first this week, so I get to pick. And I'm torn on this, but I feel like they should not allow him to be in both. I don't think it's right. I think, look, if you're going to pitch, give him the pitching. Or if he wants to be considered a batter, he needs to decide which one he wants to be in, and that's the one he gets voted on, not on both, because I think he's just taking away votes from everybody else. And it's going to be very hard for a normal player to be able to win an MVP if everybody's going to say, well, you also got to add in the pitching stats. Well, these other guys don't pitch. It's a disadvantage. And it's not fair that you're going to limit other players. So an Aaron Judge, who's going to possibly hit 60-plus home runs and bat over 300, would get slighted because Shohei Ohtani went, 12-6 as a pitcher. Okay, I get it. It's something we don't normally see. But again, how does Aaron Judge get an opportunity to pitch? No. So how do you hold that against him when it comes to an MVP? To me, he should just be a Cy Young. The bat is just the bat. That's my argument.
Okay, so you're completely wrong.
I am not
And
wrong.
look, it's this simple. Okay, first of all, I don't think he's going to win both
I don't think so either, but I'm just saying it shouldn't be eligible.
because, first of all, hitting. Okay, he's got to put up better numbers than Judge,
Yeah.
and everybody else that's going to be eligible for that. Right now, I think it's really just Judge. So okay, so if Judge beats him in home runs and RBIs, and runs scored, which he very well could be, but even if Ohtani takes a couple of those, he's not going to be on a winning team.
Mike Trout's
they
won
have to
MVP.
they have to completely turn things around. And I know Trout has won, but those are years when somebody's won MVP on a losing team, it's been a landslide as far as their numbers. It hasn't been close, and it's an obvious decision. But if there's a team that is like the Yankees are just mashing right now, they are just playing so well. And if they continue this, and they say they win 120 games, which is possible, like it's possible. It's possible. If they say that, okay, so 110, say they win 110, 112 games, right? And he hits 55 home runs and gets 140 RBI. How do you not put him as the MVP?
But then people will have the argument, well, Ohtani went in bad seeds, hit 35 home runs,
right?
100 RBIs, and he won 14 games pitching.
Yes. I'm sorry, that doesn't cut it. It doesn't cut it. It doesn't cut it.
He's
because
leading the league in
but
categories that as a pitcher and a hitter.
Right.
So it's
and I get that. Now, turn that around and you say, well, okay, so if he can't win both, right? Well, if he gets the Cy Young Award, which isn't going to be easy because his team doesn't win enough games.
Yeah.
So the chances are he may get to 14, 15 wins. 14, 15 wins, I don't know if that gets it done. Because if you have, say, Cole, and Cole gets 19 wins, which he probably will.
As long as you don't play the Red Sox anymore. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, if he gets 19 wins, has an ERA, 3, a little under, that's, to me, that's in. That's in. So you're looking for a guy that's going to get those 18, 19 wins with a great ERA, and that's going to have their team winning. Like Ohtani, yeah, okay, so he's pitching really well. Like he's pitching great, but if you're not going to get the wins, it's really not. It's not usual for a pitcher without those win totals to get that. So he's going to fall short, I think, on both levels this time. And unless the Angels can somehow turn things around, but I think it's already too late for him.
Yeah. From a record standpoint, I don't think they'll do it. So I still don't think he should be eligible for both.
Yeah, if he puts up the numbers, hey, if he's going to get 19 wins and a 2.5 ERA, yeah, you win Cy Young Award. And then if you're going to put up 45, 50 home runs with 120 RBI, then you can start talking about winning an MVP too. But if somebody's going to really put up numbers, like we saw last year, Vlad Jr., put up some good numbers and stuff, but it wasn't excessive. And nobody really stood out amongst everybody else. So then it opens up a door.
Yeah.
But if it's going to be like Judge, just mashing all year, it's going to be Judge.
So let's talk some tennis, my friend, because Sports Unfolded, we continue to cover everything that's going on in the sports world today. And we're going to bring up one Rafael Nadal, who has withdrawn from Wimbledon and was possibly going to be in the finals facing Djokovic.
Yeah, he would have.
So how disappointing is it that you didn't get to see that matchup?
Very disappointing because I think Nadal is, I believe, 2 ahead of the Joker
Yeah.
for majors. So this one kind of hurts, and that expression says it all.
Yeah. It's if you think about rivalries, and we talk about rivalries in sports, and we've done it back in the past where we did a pick and roll on, the greatest rivalries, right? If you think about from a tennis standpoint right now, Djokovic and Nadal, it's just those two guys have been synonymous with each other.
Yeah,
And
and
so
Federer.
and then
Federoff. Yeah.
we are big hockey tennis guys. We're so
What?
big on tennis that
Why can't I think of his name? Oh my god. Anyway, but yeah, you're right though. I mean, it's like you get these guys that just like have been dominating men's tennis for so long. It's a
it's a
shame.
disappointment.
Like I'm disappointed because I've been watching, Wimbledon this week, and it's kind of sad to see that he had to bow out. And it's funny too because I was watching the match where they cut over to the court he was on taking serves, and they were like, he never does that.
Yeah.
So, and now we know why he was practicing his serve. He was really testing it to see if he could serve.
Yeah.
With the
I
injury.
think I heard if it was like to be in the finals, he probably would have done it. But because he would have had to go through 2 matches, that he probably wasn't going to be able to get through it. And it's a shame because, again, one of the greatest tennis players that we've seen, especially of our time now.
Yeah.
And you don't get the matchup you want. I mean, it's still going to be a great matchup, and we'll do our predictions on it.
And he's such a likable player.
Yeah, you really don't have much about him, right? Like from a negative standpoint, plays the game well.
Yep.
Doesn't get too much into the nitty gritty of some of these other guys. But we're going to talk some NHL, my friend, your favorite topic, and we're going to bring up this great pick that I found for the NHL draft that happened last night. Look at that. That's some sharp new players coming into the league. So we are going to discuss mostly what the Bruins did, and they got 6 picks, no number 1. But I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. So Slavkovsky, left winger, went to Montreal as the number 1 pick.
Slavkovsky?
Shaw.
Slavkovsky went number 1. He's a big winger, so they definitely wanted to get some size in there, and they accomplished that. There was really 4 guys in the draft that are the top guys, and I still think Montreal made a mistake, and they should have went with Shane Wright. But they decided to go with a big winger, for and I believe he's a Slovak. So they went with size rather than that potential franchise player, which I think is a big mistake.
Shane Wright going to
Shane Wright, went 4th. So 3 teams actually passed on him, and Seattle must be laughing, because they got the best guy in the draft. They got the best guy.
And again, listen, new franchise, you're trying to build. Yeah. So to get a guy that you can now have the face of your franchise probably for the next 10 years, I mean, how important is that?
So they did really well by getting him. So Seattle, I think, got the steal of the draft. But I do want to mention Buffalo.
Matthew Savoy.
Now, yeah, I really like that kid. He's a pure offensive player. He's got great puck handling skills. I really think he could make it on this team, possibly in a year. So I don't think it's that far away for him. Um, but there's another guy, Yuri Kulik. Um, they drafted him, I believe it was 28th overall, and he's one of those players that have that aggressive forechecking style. So you want to say so you want to put him in a category with possibly Matthew Kachuk, who's got that aggressive style. He's in their faces and he digs out of the corner, comes out. Um, he's got a great pair of hands, so he can stick handle pretty well. He has his hands in the right position all the time, and it doesn't seem like that means a lot, but when you're in a position in front of the net, you always have that that stick available to get that shot, and I like that, and he's got a very accurate shot too. So he possesses a lot of skill. Probably 2 years away, but it's possible that he could make a run next year. And
And
these are
Buffalo.
guys that this
Buffalo needed all the help, right, that they could get. It was a
Yeah.
franchise that has been struggling. So
yeah.
you get some quality players that you can start to build on. They're going to have to go young, which this is where you start to build, is the draft.
Right. So hopefully they can put things together in maybe 2 years and really make a run. You just hope that people stay healthy and don't get hurt.
Yeah. No.
They got some talent there, and they got some good players coming up. Now, the biggest surprise for me in the draft was Chicago. Look, they drafted pretty well. They drafted some good players, but at what cost? I would have thought, you trade, Patrick Kane, and get youth in. I could understand that. But when they trade DeBrincat, who's only 24 years old and already a two-time 40-goal scorer, like, why do you do that? Like, that makes no sense to me. So you're rebuilding in essence, but you're not trading the pieces that are aging. And I can understand not trading Taves because he's like their version of Patrice Bergeron. I can understand not trading him, and I don't think you would get a lot back for him because knowing that he could retire at any moment.
Yeah.
But Patrick Kane, still in his prime, you could have gotten pieces for that. And I don't understand why you trade DeBrincat, the 40-goal scorer, who's only 24 years old. Like, that didn't make any sense to me, and it just shows that they're going to be in a complete rebuilding phase, but with aging players, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
Or again, to your point, maybe they're looking mid-season during the trade to see what they could get. But again, why would you trade a young piece that has already contributed?
Right.
You don't get a lot of 40-goal scorers in the league.
And Chicago isn't in the position that, like an Arizona is in, where they need to shuffle off all these pieces because of, they can't afford it. Like, Chicago can afford it. I think their fans are going to be upset and disappointed. And that could ruffle some feathers in their
organization right now is still a lot of things that have happened recently with them that you'd think they'd want some positive PR at this point.
Yeah, I didn't like that, and they also traded Doc to get another draft pick, and to me it just didn't make any sense. It contradicts what you should be doing. You should be holding on to those young pieces and trading away the veterans, and they didn't do that, and it makes no sense in their rebuild because with a rebuild you want a 24-year-old.
Yeah, this makes sense. No, I agree. I'm 100%. So let's talk a little bit about the Boston Bruins, my friend, who didn't have a first-round draft pick. They didn't pick till the second round, number 54, and that was Matthew Poitras.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Right, it's from Canada. Played in the Ontario Hockey League. 21 goals, 29 assists last season, 50 points in 68 games. 18 years old. So again, a lot of these kids so far, I'm looking on my sheet, 18. So they're pretty young. So there's going to be some time before we see them. But he looks like he's had a lot of
Possibly.
experience.
Yeah.
And we talked about a center or having a center on that second line. And you could see their first 3 picks were all centers.
Yes. The reason being is because they need to fill the void when Patrice Bergeron does, in fact, leave. So if you look at these players, you're looking at players that possibly are two-way players, and they're hoping that one of them strikes gold, like Patrice Bergeron.
Yeah.
When he was 18, he came into the Bruins. He was there. So they're hoping that one of these guys strikes gold and can make the team. And, you're not really expecting any of them to make the team. But you can see with the players what they were looking for. They were looking for some guys that had some offensive skill, but can play defensively as well.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at these guys, and that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the next Patrice Bergeron, and hoping that you can strike gold.
Yeah, right.
Because they're not going to take a lot of heat for second, third, fourth, fifth round picks.
Yeah.
If they hit, then great. If they miss, which is expected, you don't expect second rounders to be all-stars. But that's what you got in a Patrice Bergeron.
Yeah.
So they're hoping that they can strike gold here. Or at least push other players to fill their potential like a Studnicka.
No,
So,
definitely. So, yeah, well, Cole Spicer, another center from the U.S.,
right.
117th overall. Again, 18. He played with the U.S. national team development program, the U18, so under 18. 20 goals, 19 assists, 39 points. So, again, you see the guy, a lot of the 20 goal scorers in the leagues they were in. So they're able to put the puck on the net and actually score. They're all so 5'11" for Poitras, 5'10", 176 for Cole Spicer. Would you say that's a little small, or because of their age, they're going to grow into their bodies more and possibly put on some more size?
Well, 5'10" is definitely small in the NHL now. But, Johnny Gaudreau, and going back Theo Fleury, these guys, aren't huge, and they can put up numbers. And, they're not big, but I think, Frederic Brunet is 6'2", 185 pounds.
Yep,
so he's going to be
Canada.
a 200
Yep.
pounder. So
and then
he's going to be
even
a big boy.
Don's Lockmealis.
Yeah.
He's 6 foot 170. Also a center. So again, you saw they definitely went skill positions to begin. Then defensively on the back end where they got Brunette.
How about that goaltender?
And they go, Reed Dyke, I'm going with.
You sure it's Dyke?
I'm not, but that's where we're going.
Either way, it's a losing name.
It's not a very good yes. But again, from Canada, I don't know, though, 4.26 goals against average with an 88% save percentage in the WHL.
Yeah, the numbers are terrible.
Not very good. 6-12-1. Yeah.
Look, with him, I think it's one of those things that let's see what he can do when we get him in our system, and get him some goaltending help, so to speak. So he's got a lot of time.
Yeah.
Because you have Swayman and you have, other guys in place in the farm system that, are going to be well ahead of him.
Umark, man. You got your boy, Linus.
Yes.
Okay, so.
Yes. But I'm talking down the road, 7-8 years. I'm talking.
Which is still baffles me in this. So, and then last pick we had 200th overall pick was Jackson Edward, defenseman
Yeah.
6'2", 194. So
Now
you're
that's
talking
an
about size.
interesting look. This is an interesting one because, um, yeah, you look at that size, 6'2", 194 pounds, and he's going to grow.
Yep.
The number that jumps off is only 6 assists. For that 54 games, and that you look at. Oh, okay, so he's going to be a defensive player. Yeah, but he does possess some offensive talent. If you look at his numbers when he was in the under 16, 12 goals, 18 assists in 33 games. That's almost a point a game and double digit goals. So he does possess some offensive skill. And for some reason it didn't show up, in the OHL for the season. And so yeah, he could be a very solid defensive player, but there is some skill there as well. And I don't know the reasons why, that he didn't have it, all of a sudden it just like, you know, dissipated. And it could just be the skill level.
Yeah, again, and you're talking about focusing on maybe a particular position and
Yeah.
really trying to learn the defensive side.
So he
So
could
it
be
could be a number of
one of
different
those.
reasons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he could be one of those players that develops later, and so he makes the jump and then struggles offensively, and then those numbers eventually catch up, and that could be the type of player. So this is a guy that is probably 3, 4, 5 years down the road.
It still just blows my mind, man.
So
It's so
you
crazy
know,
to think
so
about.
yeah, and that's the thing. So I think Poitras could be a year away. Um, and Luck Mellis and Brunet could be 2 years. And then, the goaltender, uh, Reed Dyke or Dick, whatever you
You
choose
just
to
wanted to
pronounce
say it.
it. I
You
did
just
want to
wanted to
say
say
it,
it.
and I can get away with it because that's the guy's name.
Yeah. DYCK, yes.
Yeah, so you're looking at those two players, Edward and Dyke. Those two players are like 5 years away
Yeah.
at least.
So let me ask you this question:
If they even make
when we talk about, especially the first round and some of these top picks, how much of it is luck and how much of it is development in time? So you know what I mean? Do you see a lot of these guys that get drafted in the first round, step right in?
Look, all those guys that were drafted in the first round have the skill level to be an NHLer. It's what you do with your time in the minors or in college or whatever, wherever you're going to be. A lot of those players are going to be in college for each season, and it's what you do with the time, and it's the system that you're going to be in. Does it allow to does it allow you to progress as a player? And look, we've seen it. And the Bruins are just as guilty as a lot of teams, depending on players, and coaches. Those coaches that like playing the young players, they're gonna have better shot at getting those young players up here, and that's the problem with a Cassidy type coach. They don't want to spend the time on these young players. They want to win, and they want to win big now. And frankly, if you couldn't do that with the team that you had,
Yeah.
then you got to go. I'm sorry, you got to
Gotcha.
go.
So let's talk about another story in the NHL, and that was Marc-Andre Fleury, who signed a 2-year extension to remain with the Minnesota Wild. Good move for the team.
Yeah, I like the move. It shows that Minnesota is serious about winning.
Yeah.
Because frankly, they could have just cut him loose and said, "Okay, we have Talbot, so we don't
Yeah.
really
Who
need
had
a
a very good
goaltender."
season. Yeah. Had a very
Yeah,
good season. And again,
and
they finished second in the West. So you're
right,
thinking about a team that's contending.
this to me screams that they believe that they were close,
Yeah.
and they want to remain close. Okay, so maybe lacking grit, and you saw that with some of the players that they drafted. Those tough,
Yeah.
in your face kind of player. So they drafted that, and I believe, they were up against St. Louis. So I think basically Colorado, St. Louis, and Minnesota were the
Minnesota
best three teams in
in the
that
West. Yeah.
conference, but two of them eliminated each other.
Yeah. So
So yeah,
so
I think it's a great signing.
yeah, he was 9-2, 91 save percentage in the 11 games, 2.74 goals against. Playoffs though, 2-3, 90%, gave up 3.04. So you think about maybe using Talbot, but Talbot was injured, correct, in the playoffs at one point, and that's why Fleury ended up.
Yeah, I don't think it was that injured, but I mean,
So let me ask you this question, and
gotta
this
stop
might be a sensitive
Flower.
subject, but is it Kaspov, right? Is that their star player?
Oh, Kaprizov.
Kaprizov. So what happens if like the Russians want to trade Brittany Griner for Kaprizov because he's got a little situation with the Russians now and some fake military IDs?
I don't know. I don't know how that. And this is why a lot of the Russian players fell in the draft that were really super talented. And if you look at the teams that drafted these Russians, Washington, Minnesota,
Because they already have
they
stars.
already
Yeah.
have a Russian on their team.
Yeah.
Obviously Ovechkin in
Mhm.
Washington and
Kaprizov.
Kaprizov in Minnesota. So they feel that they have a better chance than anybody to get those Russian players to come, and it makes sense. But I don't know if that really is a factor when it comes to Russia.
I'm just curious how that all pans out because the Russian government, I think, wants to get him back over there.
Yeah, they probably do. They
So
probably do. And so it's going to be a little messy
a little dicey.
for some teams that have those Russians.
Yes.
But don't forget, Pittsburgh Penguins also re-signed Chris Letang.
Yes, I saw that. Yes.
So he's probably going to finish his career in Pittsburgh. So now it's just where is Evgeny Malkin going to sign?
Wow, nice Nuggets. Look at you. Nice Nuggets. We'll have to do an NHL show soon because there's a lot still going on.
Yeah, well, one more little tidbit here. Like, I know the Bruins are looking for a center. Evgeny Malkin is a center.
Might be out of their payroll.
Just saying.
Yeah,
saying.
Might be a little out of their payroll.
A little bit, but I think you could
make something. You could work some magic.
If you buy out the contracts of Howler, Foligno, and Noshik, you can make it work. Just saying, Donnie.
All right, my friend. Well, it's pick and roll time. And this was probably one of our most difficult ones in a while, where we're going to decide on these MLB greats that are number 27, 27th show, Trading Places. Number 27's in baseball history, current and former players. So the 6 players we went with was Mike Trout, Juan Markel, Vlad Guerrero.
Wait. Come on. The guy is a Hall of Famer. Juan Marichal?
Juan Marichal. What did I say? McCall?
Yeah.
Marichal. Vlad Guerrero, Catfish Hunter, Giancarlo Stanton, and Jose Altuve. I am first, so I will give you the correct list, and then Ron will follow up with just nonsense. So, at number 6, I went Giancarlo Stanton. 267 batting average, 1,358 hits, 368 home runs, 947 RBIs, 42 stolen bases. 4-time All-Star, 2-time Silver Slug, 1-time MVP. When you start going down this list, his numbers just by far were not as good as some of these other guys and just not enough accolades for me to put him anywhere else. So at number 5, though, I went Markall. So I love his numbers. I really do. So 243 wins, 142 losses, 63 win percentage. So you talk phenomenal. 2.89 ERA, so under 3, 2,303 strikeouts, 10 All-Stars, and an ERA title. But that's it. So he didn't have a lot of other stuff in there. So I just, it was very tough. These were tough. This was tough. Number 4, I went Mike Trout. He's batting 303 for his career, 1,490 hits, 333 home runs, 864 RBIs, 203 stolen bases. 9-time All-Star, 8-time Silver Slugger, 1-time Major League Baseball Player of the Year. He won the Rookie of the Year, and he's been a 3-time MVP. So the MVPs, I put him a little ahead. Again, he's still got a body of work to go, so his numbers obviously at some point could put him higher on this list. At number 3, I went Jose Altuve, batting 306 for his career, 1,848 hits, 181 home runs, 671 RBIs, 267 stolen bases, 7-time All-Star, 5-time Silver Slugger, 3-time batting title, 2-time Major League Baseball Player of the Year. He won a Gold Glove, he's won an MVP, and he's won a World Series. Just not enough body of work to take from the other two guys. He's got phenomenal accolades, but I just could not go and put him ahead of these two. So at number 2, and I didn't believe his numbers were that good, Vlad Guerrero batted 318 for his career, 2,590 hits, 449 home runs, 1,496 RBIs, 181 stolen bases, 9-time All-Star, 8-time Silver Slugger, and he won an MVP. Highest batting average out of those guys that were actual hitters. And you think about it, he was known as a home run hitter, a big time. And to bat 318, I mean, you don't even see 300s now in today's baseball. So I was pretty surprised with that one. But that made me put and I did a Ron on this one. Catfish Hunter, 224 wins, 166 losses, 57% winning percentage. So worse than Juan Marichal. I keep saying McCall. I don't know. 3.26 ERA, which was worse. 2012 strikeouts, which was worse. But 8-time All-Star. He won an ERA title. He won a Cy Young, and he's a 5-time World Series champion. I couldn't take those championships away. Plus being a Cy Young, being the best pitcher, I had to put him at number 1. And that is my pick and roll.
Not too bad.
It was
did
tough.
pretty good.
This was a very tough one.
It was a tough one.
Because you could literally move these guys anywhere, except Stan. To me, Stan would have to be 6.
Look, I've crossed out all over the place. I can't figure it out over there, but that's all right. So, number 6, I have Giancarlo Stanton. Clearly number 6. This was the easiest one.
Agreed.
The other 5 were difficult because it depends on what you look at is where they land.
Yeah.
And, it was very hard. But Stanton, that was an easy choice. He was last on this list. Just the batting average alone was only 267 in a different class than these other players. So, number 5, I went, and I cannot believe that I actually, when I looked at this list, I thought for sure he'd be 1 or 2. And Juan Marichal, 2.89 ERA, 243 and 142. Those are stellar numbers.
They are.
And it is better than Catfish Hunter's numbers as a pitcher.
Agreed.
But despite the 10 All-Stars,
which out of all these guys, he had the most.
Yeah.
He had the most All-Stars.
And the ERA title.
Yeah.
But Catfish Hunter also had an ERA title.
Yeah.
So that brought out
negated.
that.
Yep.
Hunter had 8 All-Stars, so that really didn't bring into a factor. But he had no championships, nothing else, no Cy Young. So he was at number 5. Number 4, I also went Mike Trout.
So far, I say all right.
And look, those numbers,
they're good.
303 1,020, runs, 864 RBIs. I thought was a little low.
He's missed a lot of time, so you can
But
how good they could have been.
yeah, 9 All-Stars, a Rookie of the Year, the only Rookie of the Year out of all of them.
Yep.
8 Silver Sluggers, 3 MVPs, no championships, none. And frankly, they haven't even really been that close.
Yeah.
Number 3, I went with Vladimir Guerrero.
Ooh, okay.
So Guerrero, again, we discussed this before. I was stunned that his batting average was 318.
Yeah.
Stunned. This is a guy known for taking out the golf clubs and teeing off and hitting home runs. So 318, 1,328 RBIs, 1496. Runs, 1496 RBI, 1 MVP, 8 Silver Sluggers, just like Mike. Not that Mike. Mike Trout.
Yes.
9 All-Stars, just like Mike Trout. So, really, he had an MVP. Mike Trout had 3 and a Rookie of the Year. But Guerrero's numbers are better right now. When Mike Trout is all done, then that could change.
Yeah, other than that batting average. Yeah.
But I think that holds up right now. So just slightly ahead of Trout.
Okay.
Slightly.
So 2-1, yeah.
So that leaves number 2 to be Altuve.
Okay. So we just
306. Look, those RBIs and runs aren't as high as the Sluggers. But 1 MVP, 5 Silver Slugger, 7 All-Stars, 3 batting titles.
So you know what's interesting about that? If you think about it, right? Vlad Guerrero, 318 batting average, didn't win a batting title.
Yeah.
Right? And at 306, Altuve's won 3 of them.
Right.
Goes to show you how much the hitting has changed in baseball, because 318 isn't a good enough average to win a batting title.
No.
Back in the day now.
But what puts him ahead is that Gold Glove, and of course those batting titles.
Yeah.
And that championship.
Yeah.
That championship. Look, I appreciate a championship.
Yeah, no, I get it.
So with that being said, it was impossible for me not to put at number 1 Catfish Hunter.
Yeah.
When you look at those numbers, the ERA not as good as Juan Marichal, not as many wins, more losses than Juan Marichal, but 8 All-Stars, an ERA title, Cy Young Award, and 5 championships. And let me tell you, I criticize championships for some NBA players, and I did it with Ray Allen. He wasn't the guy. Catfish Hunter was the guy on that mound on those teams. He was the guy.
Yeah.
So, therefore, he earns every one of those championships. And,
Yeah, so as crazy as it was, we really just had Altuve and Guerrero.
I know. That's why I was laughing, and shaking my head. It's like, I cannot believe he actually did this.
Yeah. Like I said, Marichal, I felt like he should have been higher.
Yeah.
He just didn't have a lot of other stuff. Like if
I
he
thought
had
he was going to be number 1, to be honest with you.
Yeah, if he had a Cy Young or, something to that effect, I would have probably said, okay, yeah, he's moving up. But it was just the 10 All-Stars, which we know sometimes can be skewed. And he had the 1 ERA title, but then no championships, no Cy Young. And it was like, oh, it's so tough. No, that was a great list. No, I enjoyed that one.
That was a hard one, though. That was one of the hardest ones we had.
That was very good. So we're on to predictions, my friend. And we're going to bring this chart up as you gained a game. You're 1 away, 1 more step closer to tying this thing up. And we got 7 predictions this week. So we could see some changes here on this board. But I'm excited. If you're here, you're still on, Kenny. I believe you're still on. I better get some picks today.
Yeah, you better.
Because that 9-9 remains. So it's up to Kenny now to get your names on this list and compete against us. Let's see if you can get a better average than we have. All right, my friends, you ready? We are starting off.
I'm ready.
We are starting off with the 7-11. The New York Mets are at the Atlanta Braves, a 3-game series. Obviously, very crucial in the NL East now for positioning. I am first, so I will pick the first game here, and I'm going to go with the Atlanta Braves. I just feel like they're playing better baseball right now than the Mets. Mets are still in this injury situation where the guys are coming back, but they're not fully there yet. So I'm going with Atlanta.
I also am going Atlanta. I just love the makeup of this team, and they even got a couple of rookies that are like pounding.
Yeah, Acuna Jr. is back, and he's playing well. Olsen's been a great replacement for Freeman. They really haven't lost a beat there. So, and they know how to win. They won it all.
I mean,
last
you look
year.
at you take Olsen out of that Oakland lineup, and it's a big difference, for Oakland.
Yeah.
Now he's getting more protection, in this lineup with Atlanta. So he's become a better hitter because of it.
Yeah.
And it makes sense.
No, it does. 7-12, 3-game series will start between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the St. Louis Cardinals. It's at St. Louis. What do you have?
I'm going the Dodgers. I think they're just too good. And look, I like the St. Louis team, but I just think that right now the way they're hitting the ball, it's just too much right now. Betts, Turner, I mean, they're all hitting.
Yeah. I also went Dodgers, and I like the Cardinals again, same as you. I like the makeup, but they're not juggernauts like the Dodgers. The Dodgers have been just very consistent. Been one of the top 5 teams in the Major League Baseball rankings for Sports Unfolded as well. Check that out on all our social media pages. 7-10. We have the WNBA All-Star. We've got Team Stewart versus Team Wilson. It's already mid-season for the WNBA, which is kind of surprising. I went Team Stewart. I like Breanna Stewart, former UConn superstar there. I believe we did our pick and roll. I ranked her number 1 overall.
Who had first pick?
Breanna Stewart, Team Stewart.
She had first pick.
Oh, I don't even know. I didn't get to why I missed it. Unfortunately, one of the things I missed, my friend. I'm sorry.
All right, so I'll bite the bullet because I don't like All-Star games. I don't like this format. I don't like anything about it. But I'll go Wilson.
Okay.
Just to keep it interesting.
All right. 7-8 MLS matchup. Los Angeles Football Club at the LA Galaxy. So it's a little Los Angeles battle there. Who do you got? Is it me or you?
Me. I'm going to go the LA Galaxy because they have a better name than LAFC.
I did the same thing. I went Galaxy, and they won last week when we picked them.
Yes, they did.
7-9. Wimbledon women's final. You've been waiting for this one. Onus Jabeur versus Elena Rybinka.
No.
Rybinka.
No, Rybakina.
Rybakina? Okay, whatever. Rybakina. What do you got? Oh, it's me. I got Elena Rybakina. Neither one of these women have won a championship, so this is going to be a first for either one.
I know, and that's what made it difficult. And Elena Rybakina, she's a little better under pressure. But Jabeur has a 2-1 edge in matches.
Oh.
And I think Jabeur's serve is probably a little better, and I'm going to go with Jabeur.
All right. So that might be the 2 ties right now. 7-10.
So basically, I'm relying on the women.
Okay.
Come on, ladies. You got all of you ladies, whether the All-Star, WNBA, or Jabeur. Come on. Bring it home and let me take the lead.
Let's see what we got. 7-10. You got the men's Wimbledon final. So Novak Djokovic versus Nick Gregorius.
Yeah, that's not even a question. It's going to be Joker.
You going Joker.
Yes.
I went Joker as well. Although Gregorius has played very well.
Yeah, I don't care. He's not beating Joker.
So we got some boxing this weekend, 7-9. So tomorrow night, Mark Magasoa,
Magasayo.
24-0-0 versus Ray Vargas, 35-0 for the WBC featherweight championship.
See, I know you're going to go Vargas because you can't say the other guy's name.
Magasayo. Magasayo.
You and names. I don't know what it is.
It is. I'm really bad at it.
So who you got? Oh, wait. Is it me?
It's you.
Oh, it's me. I'm going Vargas because I think he's better. He's 35-0 as opposed to 24-0. I think
I wanted
Vargas
to go
wins.
the other way, and I was going to go Magasayo, but I went Vargas because of the experience.
Yeah.
So we got two different. So it could be tied after next
So all
week.
the ladies, let's go, ladies. We got this.
So as we normally do, we end our show on our final thought, and our final thought doesn't necessarily have to be about anything sports related. It could be about anything going on in the world today. I am first this week, so I've got two. So hopefully I'm not stealing.
No. You can't have two weeks in
Hopefully
a
I'm
row.
not stealing your thunder.
No, no. Pick one.
Nope, I got two.
Pick one.
Two. And the first one is I want to congratulate.
It's final thought, not
thoughts. It says thoughts right on.
I just saw that too. Like, damn it, I misspelled
my final thoughts. I want to congratulate Joey Chestnut winning his 15th Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Not only did he win the contest, 63 hot dogs. He had a bum foot, was in a cast.
Wait, what does that have to do with anything?
But there was a protester that came on the stage while he was eating a hot dog. He put him in a chokehold, got the guy down, and still finished eating the hot dog at the same time. The man is a legend, and we should appreciate greatness. 15 Nathan's Hot Dog Championships. Phenomenal. Also want to discuss a very special anniversary that I know is near and dear to your heart. And this is why I had to put it in my final thoughts. Do you know what happened 12 years ago today, my friend?
Wait, 12 years ago. This is 2022.
So 2010.
2010. That was the beginning of the run for the Stanley Cup for the Bruins.
So close. Almost had it. But this was the day 12 years ago that LeBron James went on TV and made the decision.
Oh, my God, yeah. I saw that again today, too.
Taking his talents to South Beach.
Disgusting.
And I cannot believe it's been 12 years. And if you think about the scope of what it's meant to the NBA now and what it actually caused where these guys all try to get together and create super teams. 12 years ago today, LeBron James, his decision is the reason why we have the NBA the way it is today. So I just thought it was very important. I know how big of a LeBron James fan you were. I figured you would get that right away. But those are my final thoughts.
Okay. Have it your way.
You got
my final thoughts.
All right. Yes.
First of all, to LeBron James, what a horrible, horrible anniversary. You have destroyed the NBA as we know it. Second of my final thoughts goes out to what is it? I can't even think of who it was now. I can't even remember. Was it the I don't remember. I actually don't remember the team that hired their first president.
The Vegas Raiders.
The Vegas Raiders. I knew it was the Raiders. I was afraid to say it because then I'd
Las Vegas
look
Raiders,
like an idiot.
Yes.
But I managed to do that anyway. Yes. But congratulations on finally changing the culture, in the NFL for the better. If it's anything like the NHL has done, and those teams that are thriving because of females that are leading the way in the NHL, it is just going to be a brilliant move for the Raiders.
Agreed.
Now, my final thoughts.
Ooh, final. Okay.
Goes out to those drafted players for the NHL that did not get to enjoy the feel of a draft the last 2 seasons. So they did not get to be, live and go up there to the podium and all that, and accept the hug and handshake from your commish, and I
Batman,
think
that's your boy.
Bettman he's actually done a good job. I actually do like Bettman. But look, they didn't get to enjoy it, and there was a couple of players that were drafted that did go to this draft, from previous drafts, and one of them got to actually announce the player that they drafted, and so I hope that he enjoyed the time, and I just feel like they got robbed, the last couple of years
Yeah.
with COVID. But it was great to see some of the joy on the players' faces that they were beaming. There were some players that were beaming and just couldn't stop smiling because they were drafted in the NHL. And although it doesn't mark down for sure that they will make it, but
It's an accomplishment.
it's an accomplishment in itself that you got drafted. If you were good enough to do that, a lot of it isn't all up to the player. It's the franchise that drafted them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
No, absolutely.
So,
Great.
so congratulations to all those that were drafted and got to be there and experience it. And I wish you a lot of luck. Some of you, I wish that you were on the Bruins. So
Thank you for your thoughts, my
thoughts.
friend. As I normally end the show every week, I always ask for peace. And unfortunately, another mass shooting in Illinois. We're still not where we need to be as a society.
There were 10 of them the weekend.
Yeah, so it just goes to show that we're still not where we need to be as a country. And all we're going to continue to ask for is peace in this world, man. So, Ron, I want to thank you for your time tonight. What a great show. We covered a lot. And, hey, we get to do it all again next week. So looking forward to it. If you want to follow us, so many different formats to follow us at social media. So follow us on Facebook, Twitter, we at Sports Unfolded. If you're joining us on SEC TV, that's Public Access Channel 12. That's on Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Check us out Fridays at 6 p.m. Also on Instagram at sports_unfolded, YouTube at Rhode Island Broadcasting, Facebook at RI Broadcasting, Twitter at Broadcasting RI, Twitch TV RI_broadcasting. And then don't have time to watch, listen to us on our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, Red Circle, TuneIn, all on Rhode Island Broadcasting. And again, you could always email the show about sponsors, ribroadcasting.media@gmail.com. We appreciate all the support. We are continuing to grow every single week. But, share the show. Let people know. If you don't enjoy something, tell us too. Or if you got an idea for a segment, we'd love to hear them. Ron, we'll see you next week, my friend. Everybody out there, continue to say it. Let's just get some peace in this world.